Over the past century, climate change has led to an abundance of complex issues across the globe. Due to the economic, social, political, and environmental impacts that result from climate change, the method in which the phenomenon is handled will likely determine the course of humanity. If society continues along the path that has been witnessed over recent decades, then catastrophic events such as rising temperatures and sea levels, as well as severe floods and droughts will ensue, ultimately creating an uninhabitable Earth. One of the primary contributors to climate change has been the abuse of personal vehicles. While potential solutions, such as fuel-efficient vehicles and electric cars, are available to mitigate the problem of high emissions, the ideal solution is for citizens to completely stop using personal vehicles. Unfortunately, this is nearly impossible, as society has become too dependent on cars. That being said, society must find alternative ways to cut back on vehicle usage. Some methods include walking or taking public transportation. With the issue of greenhouse gas emissions being prevalent in the United States, our group decided to challenge a social norm at Bucknell University that relates to this problem. Although all resources on campus are within walking distance, Bucknell students constantly drive to class and therefore emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere.
While one short trip to class or the library may not appear to be a detriment to the environment, the impacts accumulate when numerous students do this multiple times a day. However, over the course of a week, month, or year, these emissions have adverse effects. This problem is worsened by the fact that Bucknell allows for all sophomores through seniors to have a car on campus. Thus, a potential 75% of students can be using a car in addition to the faculty as well. While we recognize that eliminating cars on campus is nearly impossible, our group believes that Bucknell students can do a better job of minimizing car use throughout the school year. The primary way that this issue can be mitigated is by walking to class. If individuals minimize their reliance on driving, then the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will drop significantly. By providing Bucknell students with the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from a climate science perspective, we feel that many individuals on campus will change their behavior and curb their dependency on cars. There is no doubt about the fact that atmospheric carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases contribute to abnormal temperature increases. While there are natural causes to the increase in carbon dioxide levels, the rise in atmospheric carbon dioxide almost perfectly coincides with the increased release of anthropogenic CO2. Personal vehicle use accounts for nearly 1/5 of all U.S. emissions. This data illustrates the fact that human activity such as driving cars directly correlates with increased amounts of atmospheric carbon dioxide.
If individuals minimize their reliance on driving, then the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will drop significantly. As we have learned throughout the semester, influencing the opinions of others is an extremely difficult task that requires great expertise. In order to communicate climate urgency, facts and figures must fit the way in which different groups of people process information. Communication must be designed to fit how we perceive risk and form attitudes and opinions. While curbing students' reliance on driving throughout the course of their college life may not seem like a pressing issue, we are making a serious effort to inform Bucknell students that walking to class will make a serious difference in the long run. In regards to climate politics, our project did not have global implications. As a member of the Paris Agreement, the United States is committed to upholding an average global temperature increase well below the 2 degrees Celsius target. While Bucknell may only serve as a small sample size of the entire country, all U.S. citizens must commit to reduced fossil fuel dependency in order for the nation to fulfill its commitment. Climate change has developed into a problem with implications beyond the environment. An evident divide has become apparent between developed and undeveloped countries.
Undeveloped nations seek contributions and aid from the wealthy nations. If industrialized nations are not willing to make great changes for the world, then undeveloped nations will likely follow suit. While Bucknell University does not represent a representative for the United States as a whole, it does consist of a wealthy student body that has the potential to induce change at a local level. If Bucknell students commit to walking to class, other colleges around the country may take notice, and awareness would be spread beyond one campus. Students at Bucknell University have the opportunity to lead by example, and walking to class is one way to epitomize this leadership. While walking to class more often may seem like a minor change in one's life, the future implications of this life adjustment are immeasurable. If this reform came to fruition, Bucknell students would be walking to class instead of driving for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, the exact decline in greenhouse gas emissions cannot be measured, since the extent to which students will change their behavior is unknown. That being said, any decrease in vehicle drivers represents a positive trend. There is little debate that anthropogenic climate change is ruining the world that we inhabit. In order to save it, we must all make changes.